What's good, Phinish, and what's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for another one, and tonight I'm joined by the Twitter legend, Jeremy Klump.
Oh, you had to say it. You had to say it.
Hey, the
Oh,
most hated man in Georgia Bulldogs territory.
I got a text today. That said, "Do you have a wanted poster in Georgia right now?" Because honestly, Georgia fans, I'm not sorry. I own you, and it is great. So if you're a Georgia fan in this chat, I own you right now. I really do.
Bro, Georgia fans out here threatening this man's life.
For real, I'm getting real death threats in the DMs, man. I'm getting people to find me like my personal Facebook page, messaging me, talking shit on my family and stuff. It's crazy times.
Oh man, I got another guy from another platform. I absolutely owned him on Saturday night, and just because I went up on this guy Larry's little FinFans panel, I went up there and I absolutely own this guy. This guy literally created a Twitter, and he's been talking about me for like 3 or 4 days.
Man.
That's all he's been doing, bro. Talk about my wife, talk about me.
No way. See, that's where I draw the line, man. Like, I don't care, dude. Anyone that doesn't like me, I know there's some people that are definitely watching tonight, even though they talk mad shit and they say I know you're watching, and I love you. Don't worry. But listen,
hit that like button while you're here.
Hit that like button, subscribe too. But listen, if you don't like me, honestly, it's okay. That's life. You know, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. You could call me fat, you could tell me I'm an idiot, but I draw a line with my family and my kids, bro. People say shit about my kids and shit about my family. That's where I draw the line. That's all I say. Like, I don't care, dude. I'm fine with anyone not liking me. Just don't say shit about my family or kids. It's that simple. Some Georgia fans, they cross the line, and I sent a lot of "you're not that guy." Did you ever see that? That's my favorite thing to send right now.
I'm the same way. But the thing is, none of these motherfuckers will say it right to your face, bro.
Yeah.
They behind a keyboard so they can say it. The guy, dude, the guy's even tagging. I'm having Sebastian Alvarez, the photographer for Perform On tomorrow. He's even tagging him and trying to make me look like a racist towards him, and like he's trying to deflect him back to the show on Saturday and say, "Oh, if you watch at this point," and all it was because some guy with a Latin name, like with a straight Latin name, who you could tell like his family immigrated to the U.S. You know what he said, bro? I can't believe all these foreigners buying up all this land in Florida. And I'm like, dude, you have a Latin name, bro. What are you talking about, bro?
Man. Dude, people try anything, bro. It's crazy.
God. Even Caucasians, Europeans were immigrants at the end of the day when you go down, bro.
Yo, you and I never actually talked about this, but someone made a burner account about me. Did you ever know this?
No, I didn't know this.
Yeah, they made it. It was called, I'm going to forget the name of it. I think it was like, hold on. I think it was Professor Dump. Professor Dump was the name of it. And I think it got deleted, though. They tweeted, and Devontae Parker replied to this troll account and shit on them, dude. Like, shit on them. And I think they deactivated. But, yeah, someone had some dumb Twitter account about me. I don't care, man. Listen, it's all fun. I really never take anything to heart. It's just when people say stuff about my kids or my family. That's the only stuff, man. That's where I draw the line. And, like, yeah, I've lost my cool sometimes. But you know what else is weird, too? People have been – the new thing is, like, DMing me and saying, bet me $5,000 in Venmo that Florida's going to lose to Georgia. Like, who are you, bro? Who am I going to put $5,000 on to? Give me a break. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then you win and they don't pony up the money, dude, bro.
They wouldn't put any money. No one put any money up. They're weird, bro. Can we talk about the Dolphins, someone said?
Yeah. Shout out to we just got a donation through PayPal. Shout out to Mems Salanoa. Appreciate the donation. He just donated $12, so appreciate to you, man. It is what it is, man. You know what's funny is, bro, no matter what you do, you could be the nicest guy in the world on screen like Doug, and there's still going to be people that hate you, bro.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, there's still going to be people
Doug and
that
I actually talked about that, too. And you and I have talked about it privately, too, is I've tried to, like, clean it up a little. Yeah, there was times when I was an asshole to some people and probably went a little farther than I should have. But I've, like, really slowed it down and have not been trying to argue with people. And it's the people that I have blocked that still every day want to tweet about me, man. Like, get a life. Get a goddamn life.
Yeah, last couple months I've been working on that, just stopping, bro.
Yeah.
Zachary says, Klump, bet me 5,000 that Sorty changes to a Patriot jersey next on Twitter.
Yo, that is honestly amazing. I tweeted today. It's always the Jets fans that talk shit. Sorty tweeted at me. and one of my boys from back home replied and was like talking shit on Sorty and didn't know it was Sorty, and then deleted his tweet. It was good.
Oh, bro.
Sorty's great, man. Sorty's the best.
Yeah, he's a good dude. All right, so enough of talking about the haters out there. Let's hop right into it because we already have 330 people in the room, bro. We had 150 when we went live, so it's jumping up. People are, they're locked in. So tonight we're going to talk about we're going to go over the stuff we heard about the playbook. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Flores a little bit. We'll talk about Tua. We'll talk about the cap situation. We'll talk about Ogba. We're also going to talk about X. Let's hop into X right away because people want to know what's going on. So, bro, you hit me up Sunday and we had a very interesting conversation about Xavien Howard and something you were hearing. Let's hop into it, bro. Like, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have any sources, so I got nothing to say. No.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Nah, so I called you on Sunday. The same guy. I have a pretty good friend that gives you some good sources or good tips Eagles wise, and he hit me up, and all he texted me was X at first, and I was like, oh, what's that? And I was like thinking he was joking around. I call him. We talk for a little. So allegedly, this guy's pretty plugged. I know Reason can vouch for me. The last time I gave him some tip like this, the next day, Jason Lockenford literally reported almost verbatim what I said to you, which was actually really funny. And we can get into the whole, like, you don't have sources, blah, blah thing. But I honestly, I don't even care if people say that. Like, you know damn well I hit you up that night. I sent you the text message.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
And it was verbatim the same thing. So this is the same guy. He let me know that the Miami Dolphins are open to trading Xavien Howard, and the Philadelphia Eagles are one of the teams that are interested. And I mentioned before we went on the show, I might not get into as full detail, but I'm gonna lay it out there in a sense where I think a huge problem here is Xavien Howard. Everyone thinks he just wants more guaranteed money, and I know a lot of people are saying, pay him the guaranteed money. How hard is it? From my understanding, and I think you've heard something very similar to this, Xavien Howard doesn't care about the guaranteed money as much as he wants the actual number of his contract to be higher, and he wants it to be, in my opinion, and from what I've gathered from my Eagle sources, he wants it to be higher than Byron Jones, and it's almost like a power struggle. And we didn't talk about this before we went on, but it just clicked in my head. The whole Byron Jones comment about Xavien Howard then kind of you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like, now that I'm connecting the dots here, Byron Jones even made kind of like I don't know why he'd make a comment like that unless maybe there's some tension between everyone, because who cares about how much you're getting paid? Like, let's win football games. He's still getting paid a lot of money. Yes, the guaranteed money isn't fair to him. I 100% agree with him. That's why I've been huge on saying, give him the guaranteed money. But from my understanding right now and from what I've heard, it's not about that. And that's why there's a little bit of a back and forth with them. And honestly, the Eagles guy felt pretty confident that Xavien Howard, he might be dealt for the same reason of no Igbenogany. Now, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but a lot of people hate Noah Igbenogany. He did poor last season, but for some odd reason, this offseason, man, this guy's getting positive reports. He's getting pictures by the Dolphins with his cool sunglasses. He's been getting pumped and pumped and pumped. And I was like, even me, myself, I love Noah Igbenogany. And I was like, it's kind of weird. It feels forced, and it's not normal. So what I was told is that's being forced even more to kind of push X to be like, listen, play with us or we're going to deal you. We're going to deal you. And the Eagles are a pretty good team. From what I've heard, one of the big kickers in the deal is the Eagles want to get rid of their Indianapolis Carson Wentz pick, which is a second that could turn into a first, because the Eagles don't want to deal with the whole, if Carson Wentz does great, then they get a first. If he stinks, they get a second. They want to rid themselves of the whole Carson Wentz drama. So that's been thrown around there. And you and I talked today a little. There's been the idea, too, that, everyone thinks that Xavien Howard is this great shutdown corner. He is. But his value is not as high as everyone thinks, in a sense where a team like the Eagles, from what I've heard, they want them to also take a player with a big contract too. And from what I'm understanding is, I think the Dolphins may end up getting a first-round pick, but they're also going to have to take a player with a big contract too to kind of cancel out the contracts. Yes, they'll get their pick, which will be great, but they're going to have to take on another player too, in my opinion. So I don't know, man. It's crazy, and we talked about this before we came on air. What I'm saying to you right now is stuff that was reported to me, stuff that was told to me. I'm not saying right here on this show that X is getting traded to the Eagles. Mark it down, book it. I'm 100%. I'm not an insider. Like Reason talked about this yesterday. Yes, I have some sources that tell me things. I'm sharing news with you, news that this guy only hits me up. He told me Kenneth Gainwell was an Eagle. If you watch the draft, I knew Kenneth Gainwell was an Eagle, 5 picks before he was?
Yeah, we knew before Twitter. Yeah.
The Dolphins weren't getting Gainwell. I mean, we were pouting on Phinside the NFL because Kenneth Gainwell was gone. So I'm not trying to stir things and start drama. Like, dude, I don't care about any of that stuff. I literally write for fun. I have a career outside of football. I don't need money writing for football. I do this for fun. So all you people that think I'm stirring the pot, I'm not stirring the pot, dude. I literally don't care. If you don't want to believe me, do it. It really won't bother me. I won't lose sleep over it. Just know this. If Xavien Howard gets traded to the Eagles and you tweeted at me that I'm a dumbass, I don't have sources, I'm fucking coming for you, and I will make sure you end up blocking me, because this information that was passed doesn't mean he's going to the Eagles, but trust me, the Dolphins are listening, and I would not be surprised whatsoever if Xavien Howard's traded. And I also said a reason. Just because I'm saying this doesn't mean that they're not playing hardball with X. He could sign tomorrow for all I know. They could give him a new contract extension. But all I know is there are some real issues with Xavien Howard, and it's not over the guaranteed money. It's over wanting to be the highest paid, up to where Ramsey is, but over Byron Jones, in my opinion. I hope I touched on enough. I feel like I went in there.
Yeah, you did, but there's a couple other things we've talked about that we're going to get you to touch on. Okay, so first thing, everyone in the comments wants Miles Sanders. Explain the Miles Sanders situation,
all right,
and tell them the name you're hearing, because it's a pass rusher. It's not an offensive piece.
Oh, so all right. So let me talk on Miles Sanders now. And this will be really weird for some of you. You're going to say I'm making shit up, but Miles Sanders has had some issues with the Eagles leading back to last year. And Miles Sanders isn't the only issue for Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders' mother, this is a true story.
It's Vince Carter, bro. As a Raptors fan, that was the issue. Vince Carter and his mother.
Miles Sanders' mother was bashing Doug Peterson, bashing the Eagles. I mean, bashing Carson Wentz. And then to make it worse, bashing Jalen Hurts, who's now their starting franchise quarterback. So she was a real issue to begin with it. And Miles Sanders, I mean, I think the world of him. I said he was a first-round pick. He ended up going early second. But he had real issues catching the ball last year. I know he led the NFL in drops for a running back, and it really, really pissed off the Eagles. Howie Roseman was not happy about it, and it really created tension. And you can tell me that that's not true, but just look at their moves. Kerryon Johnson. I mean, dude, that's a young running back trying to revive his career. They draft Kenneth Gainwell. From what I've been told is Miles Sanders isn't gone yet, but he's on notice. I mean, if Kerryon Johnson goes out there, plays well, they want Kenneth Gainwell to be that Darren Sproles third down type. He might lose his job. I don't think he's going to get traded this year, but I would not be one bit surprised if Miles Sanders is a big name next year to be traded. But that's not who the Eagles are throwing in the deal. From what I've heard and understood is Derek Barnett, the defensive end, who I've mentioned this to Reason and Sorty. I covered the Eagles for a while. Derek Barnett is one of my most, I mean, this is disrespectful, but he's one of my most hated players I've ever covered in my entire life of football. So it'd be only fitting if somehow, some way he comes to the Dolphins and I have to cover him again. But it's been Derek Barnett and that Indy second and first round pick, from what I've heard, is what the Eagles and Dolphins have talked about. Now, I mean, as much as I hate Derek Barnett, I think he'd be a good fit in Miami. I think Brian Flores is the guy to get someone like him to try to correct him. And for people that don't watch the Eagles and know much about Derek Barnett, I know I saw someone say who. Derek Barnett was a first-round pick from Tennessee. He broke Reggie White's sack record, by the way, at Tennessee. But the problem with Derek Barnett is sometimes his head just doesn't work, man. This guy gets personal foul penalties out the ass. He just makes mistakes. And there's plays when he's, like, doing the wrong thing, where he's, like, fighting with a lineman instead. And instead of fighting, or instead of going for the ball carrier, he's, like, literally, like, fist fighting a lineman. I mean, I'm not happy about it. I don't like Derek Barnett, but that's what I've heard. And that's kind of what I mean, I'll have an article that's dropping on July 1st. I know it sounds dumb, but we're starting the month with it at Phinphanatic with some creative trade ideas for X, some things that I think interest the Eagles, but an edge rusher interest the Dolphins. An edge rusher kind of makes sense to me, mainly because of, oh my God, I'm afraid of Lawson. They traded Lawson, so filling in someone for him. And the Eagles did get Kerrigan, and the whole, I mentioned the contract thing. Derek Barnett's due like a lot of money for a guy that really, I mean, he's kind of shit. Like he doesn't really do much. I'm not gonna lie. He gets the pressures. That's my worst stat in football. People that say pressures are the most important. Like I hate that. If you don't get sacks, I'm not a big fan of you. So that's what I've been hearing. Take it how you want it. I really don't care if you don't believe me, but Derek Barnett in the Indy pick is what I've heard so far. That's what I've heard.
Florida born, Kentucky grown says, thank you guys for keeping it real. Fuck the haters.
Shout out.
Okay, so another tidbit we talked about on Sunday when we talked about that, just from what you're hearing, this situation, Flores is kind of feeling the whole fact of he doesn't want to pay him in the sense of if he comes back and gets another 9 or 10 interceptions, do I got to rework his contract once again?
Yeah.
And, you know, the exact words you used was this situation's ugly behind the scenes.
Yeah. So this kind of goes into your show. I think it was Friday night, which was a fantastic show. Shout out to EM. I hope you mentioned it to him that I said how great he was. EM, man, you were incredible. You guys were incredible. Ball game was good too, man. It was a great show. It really was. And it kind of all wraps into that whole thing where it's almost like, I don't know, man. A lot of people might hate this because there's a lot of Brian Flores stands out there, I found out, which is kind of weird. But a lot of Brian Flores stands.
Bro, if they knew what we knew that we can't talk about publicly, we changed that perception real quick. Anyways,
I think so too. So it kind of all loops into a thing where, like, Brian Flores, I mean, I think I said this to you on Sunday, where I kind of, like, agree with him, but at the same time, it's like, it's almost a pissing match for him with certain situations. And it comes down to, I might have seen someone report this to you as well, so I hope I'm not stealing someone's report. It's just information I was told that Brian Flores.
Oh, Sorty cuts out the worst time.
On still?
Yeah, you're on still. You're on still. You got that Josh Rosen connection though right now. Oh, you're good. You're good. Now I can hear you and see you moving. Oh, right when we were getting to the good part, people. Right when we were getting to the good part. Woo! Brian Flores pulled that internet plug and said, "Nope, it's out. Take it. Take it." That's hilarious. Bad timing. Bad timing. Oh, he's back. Let's hop back into this. Let me set this up. You're back.
What did you last hear from me? I saw you blink and then your eyes were closed and then I was gone.
Yeah, no. We didn't hear anything about that. Anything you said.
No way. All right. Yeah. So I don't know what parts you didn't hear. I was going off.
We didn't hear anything.
So I'll kind of try to loop back into what I was saying. So Brian Flores, it's almost like a pissing match. Did you hear that at least or no?
Yeah, we heard that.
All right. Part. So from what I understand, it's like he doesn't want to pay him more money. And it's because, and honestly, I said this, I don't know if you heard this. It kind of makes sense to me. I agree with it, but I also don't agree with it because X is great. It's like, okay, we're going to pay you the money. And then the market's going to get reset again. And what if you get 8 interceptions? Are we going to argue again? Like, is it going to be, you want more money? You want this?
Right.
And it turns into like, at the end of the day, man, this isn't just about like you, like this is the team. And Brian Flores is that Patriot way where they don't care, man. And it seems weird where the Patriots are such a great team, but at the end of the day, like they're a team, but they don't care as much about players as other teams do in a sense, where it's like they'll replace you. It's not your name on the back, it's name on the front. They care about the team. And it's like Brian Flores is like disrespected. He's like, they paid him money and now he wants more. And then what's going to happen? You're just going to keep wanting more. And then it sets that precedent where I'm okay with the precedent. I've tweeted this before where if players ball out, they deserve more money. But I mean, X isn't making like no money, man. This guy made a lot of money. So it's like a pissing match. And from what I got from it, Brian Flores, and I hope that this doesn't like, I never want to lose my media availability. This is not disrespectful to Brian Flores, but from what I get from it, Brian Flores is kind of like trying to force his way to be Bill Belichick in a sense where he wants like this crazy control and he wants to like be that alpha. And yes, he's an alpha, but like at the end of the day, Brian Flores is not Bill Belichick yet. Like I like Brian Flores, but he's kind of got to like earn his way to be that Bill Belichick guy. And that's where like the tensions are coming to. It's like X wants his money. He deserves more money, but at the same time, he doesn't deserve to just keep getting contracts. And it's like that happy medium, that slippery slope. What can they find and where can they meet? And they might not meet. They really might not. I mean, him not showing up for training camp is huge. It's not like this just showed up or mini camp. Him not showing up for mini camp is huge. It's not like this just showed up out of nowhere either. That's what a lot of people don't understand too. I see a lot of people like, oh, you're just sparking X rumors. Like, what do you mean? The Dolphins knew for how long that this guy wanted more money and he still hasn't got paid. So start connecting dots in your own head. There's a problem, man. This is not I don't know. I love Dolphins fans because they live in this la-la land where, like, everything's so happy and people are handing out fucking lollipops in Miami. Like, no, that's not how organizations work sometimes. There's things behind the scenes. I hate the whole, oh, you're just making stuff up. The Dolphins are fine. You didn't hear it from Brian Flores or Chris Greer. First of all, of course I didn't hear, like, the playbook thing. Why would Brian Flores tell me that people are struggling with the play? Like, what? That makes no damn sense.
And he would never make that public because it shows weakness, bro.
And it shows that he's struggling with an offensive coordinator pick again. Like, people are crazy, bro. I'm getting heated because, honestly, there are problems with the Dolphins. There's problems with every team. Bro, I covered the Eagles. It was the most toxic thing ever. I mentioned a story to you about Howie Roseman and Lane Johnson almost getting in a fist fight before a game. Like, there's problems that don't get reported. And I love the people too. Oh, you knew this information. Why does no one else know it? Why is no one else reporting it? Did anyone hear Adam Schefter say he's known about the Aaron Rodgers trade thing for weeks and he just waited to drop it? People hear things. It's not, the Miami Dolphins are not Fort Knox, man. Players talk, employees talk. It's not like they walk in and everyone signs an NDA and Chris Greer and Brian Flores are the only ones that can discuss things with people. I can promise you, Reason and I had the funniest conversation one day where we both were like, yo, I heard something. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to. And then we both were like, is it this? I swear to God, at the same time we texted it to each other. The same thing. There are leaks everywhere. Ben Albright said it best. You are insane to think your NFL team doesn't have leaks. Insane. You truly are. All right, I'm done ranting.
That was amazing, bro.
It just makes me mad though. Like,
it's like you got people on the, we want to hear what you guys know about Flores, that what makes you not like him a little bit. People got to understand, sometimes by these people you get told things and they'll say it's okay to tell this, but don't tell anyone this.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, what's crazy, and you made that example. Me and him, people don't realize, me and Klump were literally DMing each other about something. I forget what. And then it literally came up like, yo, I know something, like, do you know it? And he was like, and then you were like, oh, I know something too, but I don't know. And then I was like, yo, is it this? And you're like, yo, is it this? And
at the same time, bro.
Exact same thing we had been told. Like,
crazy.
Like,
can't make it up, bro. And like, that's what makes me so mad, man. I don't care. People want to disrespect me, disrespect you. It is what it is. But like,
yeah, it is. Comes with the territory.
You can accept and believe whatever you want, man. Like, you really can. I had some guy today tweet at me, don't believe this guy, he's a clown. I replied and said, you don't even know who I am. Like, like, for real though, how do you not know? Like, you don't know who I know, anything about me, but I'm a clown. People live in this fantasy land, man. I'm telling you, I say it again. They think they're handing out lollipops, having a great time in Miami. Trust me. From my understanding, I'm getting a little off even the X thing. Things in Miami aren't as great as everyone says, and they're not. The Jason Lock and Flores thing, I heard that before it was reported. And again, it's sometimes I hear things and it's not worth, honestly, the annoyance of Dolphins Twitter. But I have heard the same thing. And Brian Flores' hot seat isn't a hot seat where it's like, oh, they're going to fire him if they don't win. It's just because there's tensions. They fire coaches. Look at Doug Peterson. Look at the Eagles. They fired Doug Peterson 2 years after winning a Super Bowl. Because why? There was issues. There are issues in the locker room. Trust me, there are issues. There are issues in Miami's locker room. It's that simple. I don't care what anyone says, man. Look at the New England Patriots, man. They're the best organization ever. Tom Brady left because why? There were issues.
Jeez.
There are issues, man. I don't care.
They were winning rings, and Belichick wasn't even saying hi to him in the morning, bro.
Dude, Belichick tried to trade the guy, and they were winning rings. There are issues. Real issues. I don't care what anyone says, man.
And what people don't realize is you've heard the same things and been told the same things about the Watson stuff.
Yeah.
If these allegations didn't hit, Watson would be a Miami Dolphin right now.
And I don't know if you reported this on your show. I listened to that on Sunday or Friday night. I don't know if you said this, but I've been told Deshaun Watson wants to come to Miami and only Miami. And guess what? He has a no trade clause. This guy knows that this guy knows Brian Flores wants him. Like, it's that simple, man. It's crazy. I know people just don't want to accept it and think you're causing issues. I don't care about causing issues. Trust me, I don't need any bit of the drama. I don't care. I stopped going on Twitter all day because I can't stand some of these people. I don't want the drama, but trust me, the Miami Dolphins are not this happy, amazing organization that everyone thinks. No, to be honest, no organization really is running that smoothly. And we just touched on it. Even the New England Patriots weren't. Like, it's crazy. It's just, sometimes it's okay as a Dolphins fan to accept negative information. Like, it's not a bad thing. What do you mean? That's life, man. Like, come on. It's crazy.
And people don't realize why he wants, we may not agree with it because I don't agree with the whole Flores wanting to get off Tua a little bit here. But the reason why is because he understands the window's short and Deshaun Watson is a top 3, top 5 quarterback when there's no allegations around. And he just believes he can move further with his offense at Watson's current developmental level, as opposed to it's still a question mark of even what Tua's floor is, because he was only at 60% last year. We didn't get to see what he fully was. People got to understand the reasoning behind it. People don't, Klump, people don't even believe that Tua was a Greer and Ross pick. They're like, oh, why would they force that on Flores? Flores doesn't have, he's not the general manager. He doesn't have the last say on everything. People
that's where some issues come too, though. That's where some issues come too, is because from what I've been told, that he wants to be that guy. He wants to be the final say guy. And that's where the whole Tua thing comes in as well. And it's like the people that are saying, why does Brian Flores want Deshaun Watson? Connect some dots here. If Tua stinks this year, even if Brian Flores didn't want him, who do you think might get the blame for all this? Now, remember, Brian Flores is the guy that everyone's saying is responsible for these offensive coordinators. We blame the offensive coordinator in his rookie season. The year before that, the offensive coordinator is blamed. Brian Flores could be one of the guys that gets taken out if Tua stinks. His job could be on the line too. It's that simple. People don't connect dots. They just want to think everyone's hating on Tua. Someone told me I was hating on Tua after I tweeted that he knows the playbook the best. I don't even know how that makes sense, but someone told me that, of course you'd hate on Tua and say this. I don't get it. And I said this to you too. This was my favorite part. I had I don't know if anyone saw this. Reason saw it, and this is probably my top 5 favorite moment ever covering the NFL. I had my son at his doctor's appointment, which he's a little monster, by the way. This guy is huge. We're at his doctor's appointment, 10-month checkup. I get a tweet from someone that says, Klump doesn't know shit. It says something along the lines of how does no one know the playbook, but Tua says Jordan Scarlett knows it great. That was my report. He literally used my report to discredit my report. I can't make it up. I can't. And then I replied to him and he goes, oh, shut up. That one's at least more believable. That's what he couldn't even admit that he was a dumbass. It's just crazy. Dolphins Twitter is just crazy at this point. I think people just need to go in with an open mind. Sometimes when we report things, it's not to stir the pot. It's to inform people.
Inform. People don't realize.
Don't you want to know that the Dolphins, again, the offensive coordinator could be an issue? That's important. That's not hating on anyone. That is news you should want to know as a fan. It really is. It really is.
And what's crazy is if y'all think we don't want Brian Flores to be successful, Greer to be successful, and Tua to be successful, you've lost your mind, because if they're all successful, we're winning.
Yeah. And if they're successful, I know this even to go farther, and some people will say this is a petty, dumb thing to say. Reason and I will make more money if the Miami Dolphins are winning. The happier and better the Dolphins do, we will make more money. Why the hell would I not want to make more money by randomly making shit up? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's just,
And dude, I love Brian Flores. I mean, some of the things I heard behind the scenes are changing my perception on him. I still think he's going to be
where I'm at, bro. I'm the most invested in a coach I've been in since Tony Sparano, probably. in Flores, but at the same point, just like you, the stuff I'm hearing behind the scenes is making me look sideways at him a little bit, bro. And not even as a coach, kind of as a person a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, when I get told by people closer to his camp that this guy's insanely controlling, and when I hear the things that I've heard that, you know, I've told you what I've heard, right? You're privy to what I've heard.
Yeah.
And we can't talk about it publicly. It makes you look sideways at the guy a little bit, man.
Yeah, and
it wouldn't matter if it was Flores, if it was Philbin, if it was Gase, whoever. If they were doing the things we're hearing, we'd look at them sideways, bro.
It could be our wives, and we'd be like, "What the hell is that?" Like,
I'd be thinking about divorcing my wife. I'd be calling the lawyer up, bro.
It's crazy, man. It's just, it frustrates me. And honestly, like, I personally don't want X to be traded. I really don't. And then, you know what sucks? I'm releasing my article that what I say comes out Thursday. When that drops, I'm gonna have so many people that are like, "You hate X." I don't want X to be traded at all.
Either do I, bro.
Like, dude, the writing's on the wall. It really is. Like, you need to start facing the facts sometimes. Like, you really, really do. Just like before Deshaun Watson got his allegations, the writing was on the wall what was happening. Like, it really was. Dude.
Let me hit you with this. You look at the Adam Butler signing, and we know he can be a 3-down end, right? He was kind of out of position playing nose tackle. We know behind the scenes the Texans wanted defensive pieces. They didn't want Tua. They didn't want offensive players. You look at the Adam Butler signing. The Justin Coleman signing should have been writing on the wall for people because Needham can play the slot, and we were hearing Igbo was going to get reps in the slot. If Coleman comes, that kicks someone out to the boundary. That makes no sense because the boundary's locked down.
Yep.
Let me hit you this. Is it far-fetched, and this is just a theory of mine, is it far-fetched that X, Wilkins, and a couple of draft picks were going for Watson in a package?
I don't know if Wilkins was in there. I think that would be crazy to Dolphins, but I think the X thing, I haven't heard this. So let me say that, like you just said, this is a theory as well. And you and I think we've talked about this. I think that the X thing could be there could be some validity to it that maybe he knew that they were going to trade him to the Texans. I don't know. It could make sense. I mean, it's like the Deshaun Watson stuff. It's so annoying to still talk about it just because it's never going to happen this year. But it was real. Like, people just want to act like, oh, the media doesn't know anything. Brian Flores and Chris Greer, tight ship. Like, give me a break, man. Come on. Like, dude, we thought they were going to go crazy day one of free agency. Nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like, they were not planned for what happened to Watson. They were planned to try to get Watson. I'm telling you. They really were.
Can we drop the bomb? Can we drop a little bit of a bombshell with the lunch? Or do we hold on to that one?
We can hold on to it. Do you want me to?
No, I want to drop that bomb on people's heads.
All right. So, from what I was told, this is man.
This is a good one, people. Keep your ears open. This is
I'm going to tread lightly in a sense where I'm just going to say, I don't know if any of you thought it was weird when Brian Flores just randomly was like talking about him to it. We're great. We went to lunch. Like, it was just so
media
weird.
Availability.
Like, dude, it was so weird. What coach says that, man? Like, players and coaches eat together all the time. I thought it was so weird. I kind of like went involved, kind of reached into it. And then, people are going to say, you're a Tua hater. You would try to see what's going on there. From what I heard, they never had lunch. That was just like a fake thing to try to make everyone think all is good, like. They didn't like go out to lunch. Like, dude, everyone eats lunch at you know what I'm saying? It was, so I don't know. From what I've heard, that wasn't true. That was made up. Honestly, that was like to try to just get all you lollipop suckers over there that think everything's great. Like, oh, they had lunch together. Yeah. I think they even shared a coffee and a cheesecake after. It was so great. Like, that's what they wanted, man. Like, They get you guys, some of you people just really, truly just buy into any positive report. It's crazy. They could like tweet right now, who's the worst player on the Dolphins roster? Give me someone funny. They could, dude, all you people that hate Jakeem Grant.
Clayton Fledglam.
No, all the people that hate Jakeem Grant. They could tweet right now that Jakeem Grant looks great and is going to have a big season. And I guarantee you 80% of Dolphins Twitter would be like, Jakeem Grant season, baby. Here it is. Like, you just
1,000
believe
yards.
anything. You believe anything. But when someone tells you something negative, right away it's not true. Like, you only believe the positive stuff. That is insane to me, man. That's crazy to me. So, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's when I found out that Brian Flores meeting thing, bro. I mean, and I want people to realize that's like the tip of the iceberg of stuff we're hearing behind the scenes. That's not even like what's made me and Klump look sideways at this guy. But like,
I think it's what made me believe some of the other things even more.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It's almost made me think like, holy shit, is this real? Because trust me, I've heard some crazy shit. You and I have talked about it. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like, come on. And then you hear the big one and it's like, geez. Like, and listen, all you people, if anyone hates on Reason again and says like, oh, stirring the pot is bullshit, trust me. I know what he knows from who he knows it from. And it's not a lie. It's not a joke. It's not like stirring the pot. This is some crazy shit. So all you people, again, just shut up. Just for once in your life, go in with an open mind. And sometimes things are going to be negative and it's okay to accept the negative things. It's that simple. And honestly, it's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah. I was at a carnival with my family. This guy calls me. He's like, bro, we got to talk. I'm like, oh, no. And then what did we talk about, though? We said it makes sense. All the other things we've heard. You know what I mean? It was just that weird connection.
Oh, yeah.
Of like,
when I called, guys, when I called Klump to drop the bomb on him that I can't go public with, he was in line for cotton candy and fried Oreos. I'm not even lying.
My 5-year-old, I've never seen a child throw down fried Oreos like that before. First time having them at a carnival. Oh, man. If she was eating fried Oreos, like you guys eat positive information on the Dolphins, man. It was endless. Crazy.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the playbook a little bit because we heard the same thing and we heard it from basically the same source too. The playbook, apparently it's complicated and confusing. It's hard for some of these players to pick up. And the source we heard it from is close to some of these players as well, right? And on top of that, Tua even had a difficult time at the beginning, but from what we understand right now, Tua is one of the guys picking up the best on the offensive side of the football. And, from what we've heard, he's being quizzed. He's been quizzed weekly. He's passed with quote unquote flying colors, as I was told. I know you had said up here before, it was more so with the play calling, not so much the playbook, but the play calling, your issues with the dual offensive coordinators. By the way, I got to ask you a side note. Did you get read some of the plays by any chance?
I didn't actually. I know
bro.
You did.
Oh my god!
I know we talked about that. I did not.
Bro.
Like, again. Look, I'm not lying, everyone. Look, I didn't get the plays read to me. I'm not making shit up. Like, dude, I did not get the plays read to me.
Bro, I had two plays read to me, and like a sneak was 9 words, bro. And I was like, oh my god. Anyways, so
you know what was weird though? To be honest, like I mentioned this to you. When I was told what I was told, it was kind of really weird how I was told, and like. From other, just like hearing whispers of other things going on, it was kind of just like, oh man, like I don't even really want to go down this path for all you people who think I'm just stirring the pot. Like it was like, I felt like it was I'm glad you did, honestly, because I felt there was real passion and energy with the comment that was said. You know what I mean? Like this is a problem. It's a real problem. So
yeah. So like, you originally thought it was going to be more so on the play calling. What we're hearing is obviously that it's the playbook is an issue. And I get what people are saying, talk to us in September if it's still an issue. But hey, we're getting into July here, only 3-4 weeks away from training camp once July hits, and it's still an issue. And it kind of makes sense if people start piecing things together why DVP was having issues in minicamp and Tua was pulling him to the side and coaching him up, because that was continuously reported every day. Just your thoughts on what you heard about the overly complicated playbook. It feels like it's Chad O'Shea all over again. and explain to people, because you've been at Cornell, you've been with college programs, you've been with power high school programs in a more coaching capacity, scouting capacity role. Can you just talk about how, look at an example like DVP again. He comes from Louisville where everything's simplified. Yeah. Okay. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of jargon and terminology. And just so you know, Klump, I asked the person who told us this, once he told me about the offensive coordinators, because how this conversation went, I said, what's your biggest fear going into this season? Is the offensive line? He said, no, it's the offensive coordinators. And I know, eh? And then I said, why? And he told me this stuff about the playbook we're going to get into. And I asked him, I brought up the Najee interview on Pat McAfee. And I said, Najee said he read the playbook, and it's a lot of the stuff that he saw at Alabama, just with new terminology. What I was told was that was basically a shell offense for collegiate players to pick up like that. And I was told directly, this is not the Alabama offense. That was deaded right away. And he said, even down to the play calls, Alabama play calls are about 4 words long. These are like 8, 9 words long, way different terminology. What are your thoughts? People got to get out of your head. Take the Najee, because even I thought Najee was telling us something. That's nothing. It means nothing. From what I was told, this is not based on the Alabama offense. So what are your thoughts on what the person we both know told you about the complicated offense?
Yeah, I want to touch on the Najee thing too, just because, hearing that, it honestly sounded great. And that's it's almost like, not that this isn't like the lollipop fantasy land. That's almost like it's what you want to hear, though. Like, you wanted to hear that the offense is the Alabama offense for one reason, because then it'd be better for Tua. So it's almost like we accepted the information without really thinking about it. But from my understanding and covering the NFL, teams do not, I knew this for a fact, they do not send their playbook to graphics like that. Maybe Trevor Lawrence probably got his playbook, but teams aren't giving their actual plays to these guys. They give them things that they know to see how they retain information and see what goes around. I could almost guarantee what you said is right. It's a shell of the offense. It was not what the Dolphins are doing. So from what we've talked about, and I think I recorded the whole Jordan Scarlett thing, which is a lot of fun. Actually, a lot of people read that. I didn't think a lot of people read that, which is really cool. But Jordan Scarlett had a correct quarterback that thought he was supposed to be in shotgun and said he's supposed to be under center, I think was the quote. And what kind of was weird for me is quarterbacks should never be confused on what's going. I've never really heard of a quarterback struggling that much. And what you mentioned was I've been through different programs and stuff. I went through a few the same
you're breaking up hard.
Oh no. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're breaking up though a little bit.
Sorry. This is annoying. I don't know what's wrong. My connection's never bad. So weird. It might be storming, actually. Maybe that is. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think it's storming. Yeah, it's storming here. That's what it is. But so I've been through different programs, and when you I went through maybe 4 years of the same offense, the same terms, everything, and then I took a new job with a different school. And I remember day one, and I don't care what anyone says. It's I think I don't know football. I can sit down, I can break down plays, film. That's my favorite aspect of football. I remember my first day, my head was spinning. I was like, oh man, I used to call this now this is called I think it's something the words are just different, and sometimes when the words are just weird. But what was weird for me is when you mentioned about the long play calls. That's where things were real tough for me at my last school I coached at, because when it's long like that, there's so much more to forget. There's more to remember, obviously, but there's so much more you forget. That's it's such a negative way to look at it. But I struggled with the whole, what we used to call 3 words was 9 words. And it gets to be annoying, and you try to rep it through your head. So I could 100% understand that people are getting confused if the play calls are long. I know NFL play calls are long, but it's just again, all you Dolphins fans, people that think it's not an issue. I mean, technically, yes, it's not an issue right now, but it's an issue in a sense where we're getting close to football season. We really are. And this is when you guys want to start wrapping your plays and start feeling comfortable about what you got. Obviously, training camp's going to be a better idea, but I don't know. It's strange to me that the playbook has become such a talking point this offseason. Last year was a problem with Tua, and now this year at least Tua's got it down. But what you were told was I was told too, he didn't have it down right away, which is even scarier for me.
Back out and come back in again. See if that fixes it up, because you're breaking up. Yeah, you're breaking up badly. So we'll have Klump. I know it made it clear for him last time, so we'll bring him back in. Because even I was having problems making out what he was said. It's raining out there. It's storming out there for him pretty badly right now. So he'll come back in, and we'll do it again. Yeah, he looks way clearer again.
thunderstorming here. It's thunderstorming here right now. That's what it is. We got a nasty thunderstorm. I live like right down in the valley of the mountain.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Damn. So I just went on a rant about play calling, but probably didn't go through.
Bring it up again. Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I don't know if you heard this part, where when I was at one school, like, we would call something 3 words, quick, easy play call. Then the last school I was at, it was so much longer, and it's so confusing. Like, you just want it to be over with, and then you forget things more. Like, yes, the play call is longer. Maybe it's harder for, that's the way they want to do it, but it's harder for players to retain that information when it's new like that. Like, when it's new information, man, your head's spinning. I saw a lot of people, it's like, we want smarter players. It's not about being smarter, man. Like, think about if you've been taught something for years, like, this is how you do it. And like something like a quarterback sneak you mentioned. Think about quarterback sneak. Now it's 9 words. Like, that gets in your head. It really does. And it's tough to just retain new information. It's almost like muscle memory in a sense, where when you got to learn new things like that, if it's not simplistic enough that your mind can just catch on, like, when you really have to learn it, it's tough. So I think it's a true concern that we are getting closer to football season, and some players aren't feeling good. I mentioned the Jordan Scarlett thing. I don't know if you heard that like a running back correcting a quarterback on where he should be. That's concerning. So I'm a little concerned about it. I don't know. I know you've talked about it a lot, but you can touch on it more.
Which part?
Just any of it. I mean, the concept of, like, you heard that a quarterback sneak is like 9 words. Like,
yeah.
Like, you've played football. Like, that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. And it's almost like what I get worried about is Brian Flores likes to, control a lot of stuff. Like, is he trying to do too much on offense now? Like, he's trying to be different, or what's going on? And I know there's been a huge thing this offseason that, obviously this offense is centered around Tua. This offense is centered around Tua. I mean, is it though? Like, Tua said he struggled at the beginning too. So, like, is it actually centered around Tua, or is it centered around the new offensive coordinators who want to, shine and have their way to go? And which guys are putting in their input? Who's trying to be alpha? Like, it's crazy, man. I was concerned about the offensive coordinators. I wrote it. People shit on me. This is going to be fine. Everything's great. And then all this stuff comes out, and then the Najee Harris thing isn't true. Like, I don't know. It's offensive coordinators are definitely a concern. Am I still breaking up, or am I good?
No, you're kind, but it's not nowhere near like it was last time.
Good.
See, like, when I go back to, like, because remember, like, I was, we're going back to like 2001 when I was in high school playing high school ball, and then, when you go into college, when I was in college, we're talking like 2004, 2005, right? Basically, it was easy for me. Like, a running play basically was, it was pretty simplified. It was the alignment, the gap they're going to, and we numbered our players on the field. So the player number, because I ran a wishbone. So it was literally 3 words. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything over ridiculous. You know what I mean? And, it's crazy. Our playbook was like a stack of, you remember when you were in high school, those note cards you would have?
Yep.
That's what it was for me, like, in high school. And then when I went to college, it was, laminated, like, sheets and stuff like that. But, it wasn't anything overly complicated. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, and like I talked to Richmond or Webb about this. Richmond said, all I need to hear is the last, like the last basically 2 or 3 words of that.
Well, offensive line usually gets the last
it's
2 words.
easy. Yeah, it's easy. You just got to know your assignment, right? So, man, what I gotta say, with everything we're hearing, bro, behind the scenes, with the Tua situation, with the X situation, with the Flores situation, am I the only one who has a bad feeling about where the season might go?
Have I not? I've been pounding the table that, like, I don't know where Dolphins fans think this is a Super Bowl team. There's way too many questions for a Super Bowl team. I actually just wrote an article for Dolphin Digest. I don't know if you know that. It's like the little magazine thing. But it was about the offensive linemen. Like, there's 3 offensive linemen that were rookies last year that are going to be starting for the Dolphins. One that's a rookie this year that's going to be starting. And Matt Skura at center. Like, there's so many concerns for this roster, so many question marks, so many people that need to progress. And then you have all this behind-the-scenes stuff, man. It's a scary year. It is. I'm not so confident. I know Dolphins fans think they're going to win the Super Bowl and stuff, but I'm not too confident about it. I'm really not. I wouldn't be surprised one bit. I want to say something though. Someone said that Jordan Scarlett corrected Tua. I can confirm 100% it was not Tua. I know who it was, but I will not say the quarterback's name out of respect. Just so you know.
All you Jacoby Brissett fans that think he's got to start this season, y'all know what time it is, baby.
Blink twice if it was him.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Yo, were you told the same thing I was told, that Jordan Scarlett will make the team in at least a special teams capacity?
Yes. I was told Jordan Scarlett is crazy right now, in best shape of his life. And I mean, Tua's backing him. A lot of the players like him. And I don't know, man. This guy, he had his little issues at Florida. A lot of people don't know he dropped in the draft. Not to go on my Florida right here, but he had like a credit card scandal. He was suspended for a whole season.
He had a what scandal? A
credit card scandal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got suspended. He would have went probably higher in the draft if it wasn't for that. I mean, he's a good player, so he's definitely a wild card in the running back room for sure. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if he makes the team. And he plays special teams.
You know what? I think it's going to be Scarlett, Dokes, Brown, and Gaskin.
You don't think Ahmed is going to make it? That's crazy.
Because, dude, you know what his downfall is going to be, bro? All those other guys we named can block.
Pass protection, yeah. Yeah.
And I like
Scarlett's
Ahmed.
yoked up,
Ahmed. I like Ahmed.
Scarlett is
too.
yoked up right now. You see any pictures of him? He's a monster.
Oh, yeah,
right
bro.
now.
He's a beast, bro. I saw some
He accidentally
pictures today.
DM'd me. He accidentally DM'd me on Instagram, just like some random letters. And I was like, did you mean to send me that? He's like, nah, sorry, bro. So
that's amazing.
So funny. But yeah, I don't know, man.
How about this, bro? If they trade X, like is being floated around, do you think Noah can? Because we know corner is one of the hardest. I mean, X took like 3 years to turn into the player he is, and Noah's way more raw than X was coming out. And you know what they're going to do? I mean, you're a smart guy. They're going to look off Byron. They're going to pick on Noah until he proves that he can't be picked on. Do you think, like, A, where are those 10 turnovers going to come from? And B, and that's the entire defense, not just that position. And B, do you think, because the way this defense has been built and the way this team has been built, that secondary is the heart and soul of our team. If X is gone, do you see a serious regression defensively?
I mean, there's obviously going to be a regression in a sense where 10 interceptions, you can't count on that every year anyways.
Oh, yeah.
But what I'll say is, and I tweeted this and it went like huge viral, like I think Noah Igbenogany is going to be good, man. I've watched Noah Igbenogany a lot before he was ever on the Dolphins. I'm a big SEC football guy. Dude, Noah Igbenogany's good. And one of my favorite quotes that everyone's going to forget about, because at the time, Devontae Smith, everyone wanted him. He was the best. And what did he say? The best corner he went against was Noah Igbenogany. And anyone that wants to say, oh, he just wanted to go to the Dolphins, this is the same guy that said he'd take Mac Jones over Tua. So take that how you want it. I think Noah Igbenogany is uber talented. I'm a little concerned about them pumping all the positive information about him just because, again, it's all that everyone's getting their lollipop and they're happy, so they believe it. It's like kind of weird that they're like, I mean, dude, I don't know if you noticed, every beat reporter was like, Noah Igbenogany could have had an interception, but a great break on the ball. Like if that was Tua, they would have said, oh, Tua dropped an interception. Like, you know what I mean? The negative connotation they'd had behind it. But since it was Noah Igbenogany, they're pumping him up, and it's so weird to me, man. I've seen before where teams pump up players like that, and it's usually not a good thing. But I really think he's going to be a starting cornerback in the NFL, man. I think he has the utmost talent, and you said raw, and that's such a good thing for him. He really is so raw as like a young kid. He's so young. What is he, 21? Right? Is he 21 right now?
He's young.
Oh, my God. He's a baby, man. This guy, he's got so much talent. I think what's best for him, and it's going to be terrible to say that Tua is the one catching strays for him, but like Tua getting all the hate he is has at least alleviated, because like if Tua wasn't getting the hate he was, Noah Igbenogany would be public enemy number one for like last year. I mean, they traded up for him, right? They traded up for him, and come on, man. I mean, he was not worth where he was taken by how he did last year. Like, people would be eating that guy up if it wasn't for Tua taking the headlines. But I really do think that I mean, them getting Coleman makes me feel a little better, even if they don't trade X, that they're going to trust him to get some reps on the outside. Like, I hope he does play on the outside, and I feel good about him. He's not going to get 10 interceptions.
No.
But I think he has the talent to really mirror and
Dude,
match receivers.
I think Noah might be a better athlete than X too.
Dude, no, he is, and he can mirror and match so well. Like, dude, it's so weird. A lot of people think that Xavien Howard's like this crazy, like, shutdown cornerback in the sense where he's always on people. I think you've mentioned this before. I've seen it before too. X is really good at baiting quarterbacks. Like, he's really smart. Like, he uses his brain to get interceptions. I think Noah Igbenogany, like, he's going to be uber talented in the Jalen Ramsey sense where he's going to be on people, man. He's like, he glues on receivers. He's so athletic. He can recover if he tries to get aggressive. I feel very confident about him. So I don't know. That's kind of where I've been at, where it's like, don't trade X. But if you trade X, I mean, dude, you traded up for Noah Igbenogany in the first round. So, like, if that's what your move was, he better be the guy. So if you think he's going to be the guy, then fine, move on from X. Like, it is that simple. Yeah. It's a business at the end of the day. This isn't best friends and friendships. Like, if you want to win a Super Bowl and build a franchise, the Dolphins are not winning this season. So if you can get a first-round pick for next season for Xavien Howard and Noah Igbenogany can step in and play good football, I mean, you're improving your roster. Sounds dumb because you're getting rid of 10 interceptions and X, but for the long run and the longevity of your franchise, it makes a ton of sense. It really does. It really adds up and makes a ton of sense.
MF Fins $2. Don't sleep on Javon Holland, ball field Hawkin. Well, MF, if you've been watching Phinside the NFL since last training camp, I've been talking about Javon Holland since last August. I did a video in October that had him in the top 10 players Dolphin fans should watch in terms of college players. I dropped that late October. I've been talking about Javon Holland for quite some time, okay? He was my favorite safety heading into this draft. Next him and Trevon Moehrig. And so I'm the last person that sleeps on him. But to expect 4 or 5 picks from a safety in his rookie year, that's a lot, man. I mean, even Javon Holland and Klump's probably seen in media availability, he's asked about his ball hawking ability. He flat out said, I haven't learned to be a ball hawk at the NFL level yet. You know what I mean? So you can't put those expectations on Javon Holland, right? So just like we don't put those expectations on Noah Igbenogany, right? So
he wasn't traded up for, by the way. They traded back for Noah.
Back for him, yeah, from 26
so
because they missed out on Cesar Ruiz.
Who is fantasy fan panel, by the way, saying that I want X on my team in Philly? Get out of here, bro. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Pete, why you gotta stir his name's Pete? Why you gotta stir the pot, Pete?
Come on, Pete. Dude, you don't know how much I hate Philly, bro. you don't know.
Pete's one of the biggest Tua haters or disbelievers you'll ever come across to. All right, so let's get back to X for a sec because we were talking about it. Some packages you were talking about. Let's get into those because you had one of them has already been floated out there by major publications. The other two that you have, the Arizona one.
Really? I didn't actually see that.
Yeah, the Detroit one and the Saints one haven't yet.
Ooh.
So let's talk about all three of these because they make sense. So let's talk about these.
So I'll start with the Saints one just because I really like this one. I know you and I talked about it, and I said this is probably my favorite one. Some fans probably will hate this one, but the New Orleans Saints send a first-round pick this year and center, what's his name? Will Clapp, right? Did I get it wrong? Yeah, Will Clapp. So he went to LSU. Young kid, good football player. The Saints actually re-signed him. He plays center, plays guard. I like the idea of adding him and seeing if he can be the center of the future. I mean, the Dolphins did not address the center position the right way. You get a first-round pick, which helps, and then you get a potential center to take over after Skura next year. I like that move a lot. I mean, the Saints will have to move salary cap around, but they're the best at doing it. Them and the Eagles, they can move money around, kick the can down the road and not worry about it. But I think the Saints could be a real contender for trying to get X, a little dark horse there. So that's the first one that I said. I don't know if you want to talk about if you love that or hate it, whatever you want.
I mean, I like the Will Clapp because, like you said, he fits the mold, right? He's versatile. He can play guard or he can play center, right? Like I would be totally, and you get a first round pick on top of all that. I mean, I would have no reservations about that whatsoever, especially because the whole Marshawn Lattimore and the gun thing he has going on right now. Now, I know a player a lot of people would probably prefer over Will Clapp if we're going to the Saints is Ryan Ramchuk, their right tackle. I know they want to re-up him though, or you could try and pry an Eric McCoy. But it makes sense, bro. If they're looking to move salary, then maybe you do talk about a Ryan Ramchuk. But then why did we draft Liam Eichenberg, right? So yeah, I'm fine with I'm fine with Will Clapp. I mean, Will Clapp in a first, I think, we could get a center who I would feel much more comfortable than Matt Skura, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then the second one was, I really like this one too, the more I think about it. The Detroit Lions, who have a boatload of first round picks. Just a boat. They're ready to go. They have cap space. But they're switching Trey Flowers' position. If a lot of you don't know, Trey Flowers and Brian Flores obviously have a history together. So they sent a first-round pick in Trey Flowers for X. The reason they give up Trey Flowers is because his contract is disgusting. So they give Flowers back to Flores. Flores gets his defensive end, doesn't have to switch his position. X goes there, and they get the first-round pick. I like that one too. And I think the Lions – let me look it up quick. I think the Lions will save around $15 million by doing this. So the incentive to give up a first-round pick to save $15 million off of the Flowers contract with a new era there, honestly, it makes a lot of sense. Let me see.
And you know what's perfect about a guy like Trey Flowers, bro?
$14.3 million they'll save.
So basically, it's almost like a contract for contract trade, right?
But X doesn't have guaranteed money after, and Flowers has a lot of money down the road.
And the other thing too is it gives you insurance if you can't do anything with Ogba too, right? The thing though about Flowers is he's a great pass rusher, but he's just as great in run defense too. You know what I mean? Like, again, he's got a lot of versatility to him. If we could get Trey Flowers in a first for X, Jesus Christ, I would
even take Trey Flowers in a second, honestly. I know that sounds crazy, but if they're that confident in Noah Igbenogany, I mean, you're improving your roster and you're getting a guy that fits Brian Flores' scheme. I mean, this guy could be a stud. He got a $90 million contract after playing with Brian Flores and in that scheme with the Patriots. Like,
and he's around the same age as X. X will be 28 on July 4th, I believe, and Trey Flowers will be 28 in August, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he just turned 27. I might be wrong.
He's gonna be 28 on August 16th.
Oh, well, there you go.
Destin Williams donates $4.99. He says, "Do you see Tua ever being able to rival Mahomes? If not, then Watson is our best bet. We can beat Mahomes with Deshaun, I think."
Do you see Deshaun Watson ever rivaling Mahomes though? Come on, man. Like, dude, like to see this with the Dolphins fans, like I appreciate the question.
Like, let me put it this, Klump. Let me put it this way. Is Tom Brady a more talented passer, or does he have as many tools at his disposal as Patrick Mahomes?
No, absolutely not.
But what has he got?
Yeah, he got that and leadership that's beyond anything. If you ask any of those Buccaneers players, they all say they knew they were going to win the Super Bowl because Tom Brady would tell them every day. Dude, this guy was texting his teammates every morning. I know it sounds so dumb, but it goes so far, telling them they're going to win the Super Bowl every morning. Crazy. Yep. Mahomes, dude, listen, Tua could be great, but no one's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is so good. He throws no-look passes to be cocky in the middle of an NFL football game.
Yeah.
There's no talent like him throwing the ball right now. There really isn't. Maybe Aaron Rodgers, arm talent-wise, that's where Mahomes is like at. They're probably the same level, but like even still, Mahomes just has an arm cannon, man. He really does.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about your Arizona proposal.
Oh my God. Oh, so that was the one that everyone talked about already. So I didn't know that. But I do same concept as Trey Flowers. The Cardinals, who obviously are going for it right now. They got J.J. Watt. They're loading up on defense. Who they draft? Collins. Yeah. They drafted Marco Wilson, who is projecting to be their starting corner. And as a Florida fan, you think I'm going to talk him up, but Marco Wilson's not ready to start in the NFL. So I don't know, man. That could make a lot of sense for them to add X to that defense. Their defense would be nasty. Chandler Jones in a first. Chandler Jones wants a new contract with them. He's on the final year of his deal. I don't know how Chandler Jones kind of goes under the radar, but he's like truly one of the greatest pass rushers we've got to see in our lifetime. Like he's incredible. He's an incredible pass rusher. I want to say his sack numbers are like absolutely insane that people like I'm gonna read them out quick. I'm pretty sure people don't even realize that his sack numbers are as high as they are. because he's just such a quiet, good player. But I think he has almost 100 career sacks already. He's at 97.
No, oh yeah, he's at 97.
He had 17 sacks
PFF has him at 102 right now.
They
don't count halves.
Oh, really? So he had 19 sacks in 2019 before he got injured last year. 19 sacks,
yeah.
bro. He is insane, man.
And he had 75. And he had 75 pressures that year, bro.
Really? He comes from a great family too. John Jones. Shout out to my boy John Jones. Used to live next to him in Ithaca. Used to party with that guy. Love that guy. Arthur Jones, Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens. Crazy, crazy talented family with athletes. He's still got gas in the tank. Trust me. He got injured. I don't know. I forget what his injury was. Was it a bicep injury?
Last year with Chandler?
Was it a pec or a bicep injury? He had some weird freak injury that's not something to really be concerned about too much. But I don't know, man. I just like – I think –
the bicep.
It was a bicep?
Yeah.
Am I frozen?
No, you're
right.
good.
So
he's 31. He'll be 32 in next February.
All right, sweet. I like it. And I like the idea. I think once I heard the Derek Barnett thing, it kind of got me thinking that like maybe the Dolphins are interested in adding that edge player, another one. I mean, dude, Chandler Jones and Jalen Phillips and Agba. I mean, you're talking about a real elite defense, and that's where the Dolphins are going to thrive. And if they are, they know that the playbook's an issue too. And I know guys don't want to ever admit that and agree to that, but maybe the way they win games is by getting to the passer and having these guys play defense. So I think if you're going to get rid of X, you need to somehow try to get a high premium pick. But if you can't, you need a premium player that's got the contract you can take on, but that you can extend. Like someone like Chandler Jones, you could sell him on ending his career in Miami and taking a fair contract to play with Brian Flores, who's going to use him perfectly. He knows how to use him. So I just love the Chandler Jones idea. I didn't know that was floated out there, which is actually pretty cool though, because that's a great trade idea in my opinion. I love that. Chandler Jones is incredible.
Yeah.
Imagine a Dolphins player with 19 sacks, bro.
Oh, bro. Jesus.
People would be going crazy. I mean, it would be insane. It'd be over.
Let me ask you this. Switching to a different position. I know we talked about this a little bit when Sorty was on. Do you think the writing's on the wall for Gesicki?
I don't. I said this last time. I don't. I think they want the two tight ends. I do. Dude, the way Brian Flores has been operating, he's too Patriot way. I think he loves the two tight ends. The only way the writing could be on the wall for Gesicki is if Jalen Waddle balls out, if they get the production they need from Will Fuller and they re-sign him. Like if they're going to turn into like a more like 11 personnel team, which I don't know if they will, but if they could, like imagine if the receivers really do progress. Imagine Devontae Parker finds his form. Preston Williams plays great. I don't think it'll ever happen, but imagine if Albert Wilson gives them great reps. Is it Bowden or Bowden ends up turning up and playing good? Like, I could see it if other players thrive. But if the season goes how I think it's going to go, I think they're going to need Gesicki. I do. I think they're going to want to keep the 12 personnel with him.
The reason why I asked this is because I don't know if you saw it today, but you know Dolphins Wire, right? The Dolphins Wire, USA Today, Dolphins Wire.
I used to work for the Eagles Wire, baby. Let's go.
There you go. There you go. You know, even SpotTrack has provided a market value forecast for Gesicki's next deal. It's right around like $10 million. But they dove into it, and for example, you know, Austin Hooper, he signed a 4-year, $42 million contract, right? You know, Jonnu Smith signed a 4-year, $50 million contract with the New England Patriots. You know, so that's about like $12.5 million a year on annual average salary. Do you really see them giving this guy a 4-year, $54 million contract?
It depends how he does this year. Honestly, I think we've talked about this. I think they're more likely to franchise him this year before they'd even have to do that anyways, to make him double down on having a great year turn contract. I mean, I don't see how they wouldn't franchise him if he's going to try to command so much money. But, I mean, he's talented. It comes to the whole concept. It's almost like the X situation. It's like X is the best player on the team, best player on the defense. Like Gesicki, I mean, you could make an argument that maybe he's one of the most, if not the most talented player on the offense. And it's kind of like depressing to say that. Jalen Waddle's obviously going to be better than him. Will Fuller hopefully stays healthy. They'll be better than him. But Gesicki's that crucial to the team this year, in my opinion, that It's so tough. I guess I felt like I had a great command over Brian Flores and how they're operating. You know, I said that they were going to trade for Isaiah Wilson just because like I could feel the way things were going. And it's like knowing some of the things I do now, like the offseason's turned into like a shit show for them. I don't know what could happen if he plays great. Like maybe they franchise tag him and trade him. Like that's how weird the Dolphins have been. Who knows? I really do. If I had to tell you today what I would want to happen and what I think would happen, I think they keep him. I do. I think he's a great player. He's young. He's good. He can't block that well, but he can catch passes.
Let me ask you this. Does it worry you when we hear privately that, you know, Tua had all these workouts with all of these players and Gesicki only showed up to one practice?
Yeah, that's weird. That's definitely weird. I didn't know that he only showed up to one, but weirdly enough, I actually thought you were going to say zero because from what I've heard, I didn't even know his name was mentioned, to be honest, weirdly enough. Like, I even heard offensive linemen showed up to more than, like, his name, which is kind of strange because, like, why are offensive linemen showing up to Tua's passing workouts and stuff like that? Like, Tua's getting everyone involved. So that's actually kind of eye-opening when you really bring it up. Like, I looking back on it, I've heard, like, everyone be in there, and I really never heard his name. And you don't see him in the pictures either, actually, so that's kind of strange. So
yeah, that same day that picture came out of Tua with all the players on the field looking at that Microsoft Surface or the iPad or whatever, Mike Gesicki was posting, I'm not even lying, was posting pictures he's out on the water on a boat.
Yeah, not a good look. I mean, players can obviously go have fun, but definitely not a good look if he was invited. I mean, obviously he was invited.
Yeah.
I'm wrong too. What is he gonna do, man? Like, I mean, the Dolphins clearly decided they felt strong about him instead of taking Kyle Pitts. So,
It eats you alive every day you wake up, doesn't it?
It does, man. $32.9 million though. Shout out to my guy.
I thought it was $39 million.
I think it's 32.9. 32.9.
Oh, wow.
Or is it 39.2? Maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was 32.9. But I gotta look it up because that's my boy.
It is, yeah, you're right. 32.9 fully guaranteed contract for Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts now has the highest guarantee of any tight end in football, and he hasn't even played it down, bro.
Guy's a stud, man. Stud. Everyone loves Pro Football Focus and takes it as gospel. Did you see they ranked him as the 5th or the 4th best tight end in the NFL? He's never played a snap. Crazy, bro.
You know how I feel about PFF. It's far from gospel for me.
Yeah.
Bro, so I don't know, just like, you know, I'm gonna have you on when we do the preseason roundtable where we do the predictions and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna ask you for a record prediction, especially we gotta let training camp play out. You know, one thing I will say though, we saw what happened with Kerryon Johnson. Do you think this team is going to be watching the running back market to see if any surprise cuts happen?
Yeah, and I don't want to steal your guy because I don't know if you've said it on here before, so I'll let you say who it is. But I have tweeted this before, actually, too, a while ago, that I think that this is a real target for the Dolphins.
Sony Michel.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, it's almost like comedy at this point, the amount of ex-Patriots that they sign and that they at least look into. It's crazy. I mean, I don't see how they don't look into him. Kerryon Johnson, I mean, I like Myles Gaskin. I think Myles Gaskin's a good player, but it was so obvious to me that Kerryon Johnson, again, this is where it got so weird for me. Like, I've been in a great groove with the Dolphins. I even broke down why I thought the Dolphins were going to claim him, all the things of Brian Flores going against him, everything. Like, that's the type of person Brian Flores is. Like, this guy, I couldn't stop him, so I want him. You know what I mean? And he's seen how good Sony Michel can be. So, yeah, I honestly – I don't know how you feel. I would love it, man. I actually would love it. I think Myles Gaskin is a good player, but can you trust him to play Klump's lollipops? Can you trust him to play 17 full games, man? This guy's little. I mean, he's shown that he could carry the load in college, but the NFL is such a different beast, man. It really is. And there's nothing wrong. The way that the Patriots have worked and how the Dolphins work, like, there's nothing wrong with having a strong running back by committee. So I wouldn't mind it whatsoever. I really wouldn't. And them trying to get Kerryon Johnson only proves to me that they want a guy like that. So, yeah. I wouldn't be. I mean, I don't know what other running backs are going to get cut. I mean, we didn't touch on. I put for my X article that's coming out. X and a first to Seattle, or X to the Seattle Seahawks. They trade him a first and Penny, a running back too. I mean, that's been thrown out there that they should trade for Penny. but I wouldn't be surprised with a former first-round pick, a guy that they could try to get the most out of. I really do think that running back was something they tried to address and they failed at. I mean, they tried to trade up, failed. The Broncos jumped in front of them. I mean, it was ugly. We thought we were all getting all excited. Gainwell was going there, and then a couple picks before I ruined it for you and said that it's not happening. So I think that they'll definitely be trying to upgrade the running back position.
For you, bro. Zachary says Tebow's the best tight end in the NFL.
Oh, I love it. Did you see Urban Meyer? They asked him how he's doing, and Urban Meyer did the most Urban Meyer answer ever. And he said, he's playing decent. And everyone's like, oh, he said decent, not good. Tebow sucks. Everyone jumped on it. I don't know, man. I think Tebow's going to make the team, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Well, we don't want to go down that road, bro.
Yeah, nah.
We'll be here for another 2 hours, bro, while you talk about Tim Tebow, bro.
Goal line quarterback, baby.
Guys, I promise you one time, it's going to happen. One time, Klump is going to come on here with Dolphins gear on, not Gators gear. I swear to God, it's going to happen one day.
We'll see.
It's gonna happen one day, guys. I swear to God.
I wore Dolphins gear for the draft. I had my bong shirt on, remember?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Dolphins gear without illegal paraphernalia on it. Okay. Yo, man. So I know we, just kind of to wrap up this whole X thing. 2 questions. In your gut, do you think he gets traded? And
yes.
B, look at didn't even wait. And B,
I think he's traded.
When do you think this happens? Because this is what I'm gonna say. Ask you. If we know what you know about the Eagles and they're in that advanced stages of talks where return compensation is being talked about, some of these talks must be far along, no?
So, yes, and also you mentioned the Eagles, and the Eagles are very good at doing something where they trade during training camp, and maybe the Dolphins are waiting for an injury, man. It takes one injury to ruin a team's life. Dude, I remember this is a true story, man. I'm in the grocery store with my daughter. She's in the cart. We're going around. She's having fun. She's eating fucking Pringles, barbecue Pringles. And I get a text that says, you'll never guess what the Eagles are about to do. And I replied, don't tell me someone traded for Bradford. They ruined the Minnesota Vikings because of that Teddy Bridgewater injury, man. And injuries make teams do some crazy shit. So if this boils over, if X isn't signed by training camp and there's still issues, and imagine if he doesn't even report, man, I think he's going to get traded. I think he'll get traded in training camp, and the Eagles could be one of the teams. But you look at teams that are look at championship contenders. Imagine if someone on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tears their ACL in training camp, man. You don't think that they're going to go try to trade for Xavien Howard and give up whatever they have to give up to get him? Some teams don't mess around, man. If they think they have a window and they need a player, they'll go get him. And the Dolphins might be playing hardball. Again, they could sign him tomorrow for all I know. But from my understanding, I don't know if that's going to happen. And if they don't, man, and it keeps boiling over, I don't see how it ends well. I think he gets traded. What was B? Sorry.
No, you answered B. Was if you think
A and B
for the season. Yeah. I mean, and to think of the combo they would have with Darius Slay and
he's sweet.
Xavien Howard, man. Jesus.
It would help them out a lot too, man.
And the money they would have locked up between the two of them.
Well, they have their cap space next year. I think it's $65 million they have next year, man. So
they can afford him.
They could easily afford him. If anything, they could end up paying him $30 million the next year instead of extending it down the road. You know what I mean? Just front loading the shit out of his contract. They could really. I don't know. We'll see.
And we hear everything that. Let me ask you this: do you think Tua is going to rip up training camp?
Rip up training camp. Now, it depends what your definition of rip up is. I think if you and I were there, if we were at training camp and we were watching it, I think we'd say Tua was probably ripping it up and doing good. The issue is I'm in Pennsylvania, you're in Canada. I'm gonna have to get a lot of my decisions and thoughts on Tua from beat reporters who, in my opinion, have this weird, not vendetta. I know that seems a little drastic to me, but almost I mentioned before, it's like backhanded, like the Noah Igbenogany thing. He dropped the interception, but great coverage. If that was Tua, they'd say he dropped the interception. Like they have this backhanded negative connotation when they report on Tua. So it all depends on how they're going to report on him. I think Tua is going to do good though. The offensive coordinators, the playbook may be an issue, but dude, they're really talented on offense. They have a lot of talent. running back's an issue. The offensive line needs to obviously progress, but like he's got Will Fuller and Jalen Waddle, man. Like that makes your life pretty damn easy as a quarterback. So I think he's going to do good. I think that would be the most fitting thing for this season is if Tua's just incredible. Like how fun would that be for everything involved, especially the things we know about Brian Flores? Like how fun would that be for everyone? And I know you've asked me this. If Tua does great and they win, like could Brian Flores be won over? I 100% think Brian Flores values winning over everything. Like if they win, I think he could be man enough to be like, shit, man, like let's go do this thing. Let's win with each other. So winning cures out. Winning cures all. It really does. And I think Tua's going to be good. I think he is. I know all you Tua haters are or Tua stands are pissed thinking I'm a Tua hater, but I think Tua's going to be good.
I got 2 trade proposals of my own I want to put out there for you.
For X?
X to the Cleveland Browns for Kareem Hunt and a second.
I'd do it in a heartbeat. That'd be sweet. I like that.
Xavien Howard to the Jaguars for James Robinson in a second.
I don't think they do that for 2 reasons. I don't think they're going to get rid of James Robinson because Urban Meyer's not going to use Travis Etienne like everyone thinks he is. They're going to use him in that Percy Harvin role and move him all around. And didn't they sign Shaq? Shaquille Griffin. And they have CJ Henderson that they drafted number 9 overall. So I don't think they do that.
That would be a perfect ideal trade.
James Robinson would be so cool, dude. How cool would that be?
Oh,
Shout out to James Robinson. He won me my fantasy league because I picked him up before he started.
Bro. So did I picked him up in a couple leagues too, man. What a UDFA snag that was.
What a UDFA.
But yo, you know what? Back to the Cleveland one. It makes a ton of sense because they got cap room and they're close. Like if you add them to that secondary, that defense could be special, and they need to upgrade it in that division, bro. And they got Nick Chubb.
They signed someone too at corner, but he's not that great. Who'd they sign? The guy from the Rams. I forget his name. I'm gonna forget his name. But he's not like Shaquille Griffin and CJ Henderson. Like you would do it. So I like that. I might add that in my article and quote you on it.
There you go.
I might do that. Because honestly, I like that one a lot. Like I love, dude. Kareem Hunt might be a bad person, but he's a great running back.
Yeah, but it's looks like X isn't the great. Because did you see that clip that I posted from the man-to-man pod? Did you see that? Dude,
it was annoying.
What did you think about that when you saw him say, it's crazy because in the same breath, in the same sentence, bro, they signed Byron for insurance if my knee didn't hold up, but then they drafted Noah Benogany and I took it as a slap in the face.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And I think that's what kind of made the whole, like, people that are going to say my report is fake and all this dumb stuff. But, like, it kind of makes me think that that's the type of person X is, man. Like, it's all ego. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. It's the NFL. It's a damn business. You know what I mean? Like, X goes out there and blows his knee out. They have to pay him all that money. They get screwed over, too. Like, it's that happy medium of, like, understanding that at the same time, the team wants to win, too. It's not all about you, X. And that's where I kind of got the vibe where it's like, he took that about himself and not about the team. Come on. They drafted a 20-year-old corner, and that pissed you off? It was a baby. He's a baby, and that's what made him mad. I didn't like that. And I know everyone's going to say, no one said anything bad about X last year when he had 10 interceptions. It's not that we're saying things bad about him, man. It's just like, come on. Like, the writing's on the wall, and actions sometimes speak louder than words. Like, look what he said. Like, it was annoying. It really is annoying to me. I hate stuff like that. I should just, like, it doesn't need to be said. Even if he felt that way, just don't say it either, Just like, and I feel like that's the whole Brian Flores, Xavien Howard tension stuff. Don't you think that that's an even further indicator that there's tension? Because Brian Flores doesn't like when his players do shit like that. You know what I mean? It was almost like a backhanded, like, I'm going to speak my mind now. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Let me ask you this too, because I don't think I got your thoughts because it hadn't happened yet when you and Swarty were up there. What were your thoughts on the Baker extension?
I liked it. I mean, they overpaid for now. This is kind of a weird way to talk about it, but it's almost like the Carson Wentz extension when everyone shit on it and said the Eagles are so dumb. And then like 2 days later, Jared Goff signed one bigger than him. Like the contracts are obviously going to get bigger. I think what they did that was smart that not a lot of people are talking about is the salary cap next year is going to go up. You know what I mean? So like his salary may end up being a bargain, but right now, this moment, it is not. Like, they better hope he plays better. I mean, he's a good player, but he's not a great player. They paid him as a great player. sometimes though, when you sign young players, you're paying for that potential. So I don't mind it. The only thing I mind that a lot of people may be mad about is we're going back to this whole the Dolphins. Oh, they paid him for his potential, but like, not to be a dick, but like, what potential have the Dolphins really found and paid and like did great with? You know, it's kind of scary. They've been really bad at drafting. There's been some weird picks. It's like, who knows? It's kind of a crapshoot. So I don't mind it though. I think he's going to be a good player. And honestly, I just like the way I like something about him. He's like the person he is. I kind of just like. I like his personality. So I think he's probably a good fit in the locker room too.
Michael Pulisic says, "Then watch Baker play great, and he'll ask for more money." Let me ask you this. Obviously, you know, me and EM did a show about this last Friday. We talked about this again. You know, when you look at the drafts, you know what I mean? The Wilkins draft, you know, Wilkins is here. Dieter's still trying to find his role. AVG is obviously hit. Chandler Cox is kind of a wash. They found Gaskin in the 7th round. You look at last year's draft, as much as people don't want to believe it, and you know I'm one of the biggest Tua supporters there is. There's questions about Tua. There's a lot of questions about Austin Jackson. I think Hunt is finally in a spot. You know how I felt about him being transitioned to guard.
Yeah.
You know,
Saul McKinley is a good one.
Yeah. And then you look at the money they spent last year, you know, on Eric Flowers, Kyle Van Noy. They spent $237 million. $130 million of those contracts is already out the door. Do you think they've been utilizing the resources that have been given to them to the maximum capacity here?
So that's kind of a tough question, and that kind of loops into what I just said. Is like, maybe it's them not using the resources well, or maybe their resources of scouting aren't that great, and player personnel, in a sense. It's like when teams trade for players, a lot of people don't know this, but like NFL teams have scouts for NFL players too. It's not just you're scouting like college players. Like NFL teams scout the NFL to see who they can trade for as well. So maybe their talent evaluation is the issue, maybe not their progression with the players. I guess that's to be determined. I think this will be the big telling year for it. And for all the people that don't think the coaching staff could be on a hot seat or anything like that, like if they're not progressing these players and there's some issues with stuff like that, that's going to cause some tension as well. Like they're saying these players are going to be great and then they're not great. So what's the problem? Whose fault is it at the end of the day? So I don't know if it's again, it's to be determined. I'm more concerned with their talent evaluation than anything. I think that they try to force some things to be like, we're going to be right with this guy and everyone else is going to be wrong. Like the Austin Jackson pick, for example, like trying to like, what's that quote? It's like trying to fit a square peg in a circle, whatever.
In a round hole.
Yeah, it's almost like they like try to like outdo everyone and like they think that they're always right. Even signing players and then getting rid of them after a year, like I'm just a little worried about the talent evaluation. Yeah. And I think that's why I said to pump the brakes on these draft picks every year. Like everyone thinks they're going to be these great, amazing players. It's like when I heard that Jalen Waddle was ranked over Kyle Pitts, like that's concerning to me. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you saw the Jaguars had him like that too, right?
I think, but that's what I love. Everyone shit on the Jags, but now since they had Jalen Waddle ranked higher, then the Jags are great and so smart. Like, yeah. It makes me a little concerned, you know. Like, I think that's probably I'm more concerned about the talent evaluation than the progression. Mainly, too, I think Brian Flores really preaches about progressing the players, which makes me think that he knows that some of the players that he wanted weren't as good as they were. So, like, he wants to be that guy that's like, look what I did, like. Kind of like when Bill Belichick got Tim Tebow and tried to make him back to being quarterback. For real though, it's like, look what I can do, everyone. I'm better than all of you. So like he tries to like be better and do things a little out of the box and different than people. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't think it's a progression problem. I think it's more of the talent evaluating, and these players need to be progressed. Like that's kind of concerning.
You know, a couple of people have asked, what are the questions on Tua? Well, I'll give you the two biggest. Because he was only at 60% last year, what's his floor and what's his ceiling in the NFL? Because we haven't had a full season at 100% to fully evaluate what his true floor and his true ceiling is. Now, we can give you player comps, but those are projections, whereas seeing it with your eyes, you could probably answer those questions. So those are the two questions I would have with Tua is at 100%, what does it look like his floor and his ceiling are going to look? So if you guys ask, there you go. That's the questions I would have on Tua right now, which are fair. We haven't evaluated him at a full 100% yet.
I'll add one.
Go ahead.
I'm concerned, and I actually, this is kind of like a little bit of a report too, and I'm kind of stealing it from you as well. I've heard it. We've talked about this. But Tua's mindset is reportedly great, that he's not listening to all the dumb shit going on, and he's moved past all that. But I'm concerned that, like, you know, it's easy to say that you don't care about what people say about you. And look at me before the show starts. I'm talking, I don't care what you guys say about me. Like, sometimes though, like, it's tough. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is a young kid. He's not a guy. He's a kid still too. And people just shit on him every day, man, every day. And if he starts struggling, I'm worried about how he'll recover to adversity this season. I don't think that he's a guy that you have to worry about how he can do with adversity. I'm worried about this year now, though. Like, I think this is a new trait that's starting, and it goes back to, I mentioned this on one of the first shows I was ever on. I saw what the Philadelphia Eagles did to Carson Wentz, man. I saw what the fan base did to him, what the organization did to him, and making moves to just, like, mess with a guy's head. So I hope that Tua's head can stand straight. That's my biggest concern, because the kid's obviously got all the talent in the world. Come on. He was winning Elite 11 camps. You know what I mean? Like, he's talented as hell. It's just the fact that there's, to me, like, it's hard sometimes when your mentals aren't there, you know? So I hope, as Marshawn Lynch says, like, I hope he can take care of his chickens and he's good to go this season, because, like, that could really turn the Dolphin season around too, man. A couple bad games and everyone's calling for Jacoby Brissett and trading for Deshaun Watson and trading for Aaron Rodgers and trading for Russell Wilson. Like, I mean, if that keeps going during the season, if they're struggling, that's freaking tough, bro. That'll be tough on him. So that's what I'm most concerned about. That's why I hope he lights it up and shits on all the idiots that talk all that shit. That's so good.
Rookie quarterback should be given 3 years, not 2. And one of those 2 years is a 60% help, not even at full capacity. All right, man. So, I think that's pretty much it, but let's get into it. You got any final thoughts, and you got any work coming out that you can plug for people to be on the lookout for?
Just the X trade. I've kind of been taking it a little easier right now. I know a lot of people have said that. Saw people, like, a couple DMs checking on me to see if I'm good. I'm taking it slow this offseason, man. Honestly, Dolphins Twitter has been a little tough to deal with, just with, like, nonstop. Reason I talk about this, I'm trying not to argue with people as much, because it's really worthless. Like, I just started blocking people.
Yeah, that's what I do, bro.
Like, it's not worth it anymore, man. I'm trying to enjoy time with my family and not be going on hour rants against people that, like, mean nothing to me, bro. So I've kind of been away from Twitter in a sense, but I'm still, going at it. I got the X article dropping. I'll have I'm going to start getting back into my routine of getting at least 2 to 3 articles a week for the Dolphins. I mean, I don't know if you guys like the Gators, but I'd write Gators articles out the ass, man, like 2-3 a day. I've been killing the Gators coverage. So if you're a Florida Gators fan, make sure you follow Hail Florida Hail, because Georgia fans, like I said, I own you, and it's been fun. But yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of taking it slow. I'm getting excited. This is kind of the time when I take it a little easier, just because once football season starts, man, I work all week my normal job, and then I got Saturdays covering the Gators, Sundays covering the NFL, which will be the Dolphins this year, obviously, and then maybe a Monday night if the Dolphins are playing, so it's a lot. So I'm just kind of taking it slow, but just, tweet at me. I don't care if you call me fat, just don't talk about my family.
Yeah. Go ahead and follow Klump on Twitter at NuttyXProfessor. Also, guys, help support Russell Flores during this hard time. He lost his 7-year-old son on Father's Day in a tragic car accident. So there's the link for the GoFundMe. Go support him. You guys have already been doing a great job. When me and Larry started, plugging it and stuff like that, he was only at about like 4,000, and he's up over 7,000 right now. So, guys, you've done a good job already. Support Russell Flores as much as you can. Shout out to Russell. I hope you're doing well, man. And I hope in some way, shape, or form, some semblance of a healing process has begun for you, bro. Love you, man. Hope everything's well. If you'd like to donate to the channel, obviously you can do it through the super chat like people have. And Irving says every time Klump smiles, he looks like Colonel Sanders. And he donated $2 to say that. So
I've been told that actually more than once, which is actually pretty concerning.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Become a Phinside the NFL Patreon, patreon.com/Phinside the NFL. Patch Vibes. Use code Phinside for 20% off of your order. They just dropped a new throwback merino cartoon shirt. They also have a Tua version of it. Go use that, 20% off of your order. Appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming out. I will be back tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern with the official photographer of Perform Sports, Sebastian Alvarez of Shot Culture. We'll be talking Tua. He might have some pictures he hasn't debuted yet that will show up here. So, again, if you see everyone with those using emojis in the chat, they got the badges next to their name, go ahead and hit that join button, become a Phinside the NFL YouTube channel member, and you'll get all the access to the perks. I got the Raekwon Davis film study coming out, should be coming out this week, and then hopefully he'll still be on the team. I'll be reviewing all 10 of Xavien Howard's interceptions. I'll be doing a film study on that, so they'll be coming over the next 2 weeks. All right, guys, so we got a lot of stuff coming over the next 2 weeks. Shout out to each and every one of my Patreons. Shout out to each and every one of the YouTube members. I love and appreciate all of you. And shout out to all of you who just come in. We got still over 440 people. We were, at about 530 people during this whole stream. Smash that like button if you're new here. Hit that subscribe button. We're about 175 away from 4,500. Let's go hit 5,000 before the season starts. All right. So tomorrow night we'll be back with Shot Culture. Sebastian Alvarez of Perform. We'll be talking Tua, the training regiments, the players that have been over there, etc. All right, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So until then, everyone stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed. And it's Fins up all day, every day, baby.